Deep in the heart of rural Pennsylvania, nestled amongst towering pines and whispering oaks, lay Camp Blood Moon. The summer sun dappled through the leaves, painting the clearing in a mosaic of light and shadow. A wooden sign, weathered and worn, welcomed visitors with a cheerful greeting. The air hung heavy with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, a symphony of nature's perfume. The camp itself was a collection of rustic cabins, their wooden walls aged to a silvery gray. A large mess hall stood as the heart of the camp, promising laughter and shared meals. A fire pit, ringed by rough-hewn logs, awaited the night, promising stories shared under a star-studded sky. Camp Blood Moon, a sanctuary of summer fun, or so it seemed. Excitement crackled in the air, as contagious as a summer breeze. Campers, their faces flushed with anticipation, unloaded their belongings. Counselors, tanned and energetic, shepherded their charges, their voices a comforting counterpoint to the excited chatter. This year's group was no different, a mix of familiar faces and eager newcomers, all drawn to the promise of adventure. The air buzzed with introductions and reunions, friendships rekindled and new bonds forged in the crucible of shared experience. Laughter echoed through the trees, a testament to the carefree spirit of youth, oblivious to the darkness that lurked just beyond the firelight. The promise of 2 weeks of unadulterated fun lay ahead, but unbeknownst to them, a sinister presence stirred in the shadows, awakened by their arrival. Around the crackling fire, under a sky dusted with the first stars of twilight, the campers gathered. The counselors, their faces lit by the flickering flames, shared tales of the camp's history. Legends and lore, passed down through generations of campers, wove a tapestry of spooky delights. And then, a hush fell over the group, as the oldest counselor, a grizzled man named Hank, began his tale. His voice, a low rumble, spoke of the blood moon, a rare celestial event when the moon would glow an eerie crimson. He spoke of a vengeful spirit, tethered to the woods, awakened by the blood moon's crimson light, a spirit seeking retribution for a wrong long forgotten, its anger a palpable presence in the stillness of the night. The days that followed were a blur of activity. Campers hiked through sun-dappled trails, their laughter echoing through the trees. They swam in the cool, clear water of the lake, their shouts a symphony of youthful exuberance. But as the sun began its descent, casting long, eerie shadows across the camp, a palpable unease settled over the group. Whispers of the blood moon legend circulated, fueled by Hank's chilling tale. Strange occurrences began, subtle at first, then increasingly difficult to ignore. Whispers seemed to emanate from the woods, rustling leaves where no breeze blew. Shadows danced at the edge of the firelight, taking on menacing forms. Fear, like a virus, began to spread, infecting the once carefree atmosphere. Section 5. The blood moon rises, terror reigns. The night of the blood moon arrived, cloaked in an eerie silence. The forest seemed to hold its breath, the air thick with anticipation. The moon, a malevolent crimson eye, rose slowly in the sky, casting an infernal glow upon the camp. And then, all hell broke loose. Unexplained noises shattered the stillness. Trees swayed violently, their branches clawing at the cabins. A blood-curdling scream pierced the night, followed by another and another. Panic seized the campers, their laughter replaced by screams of terror. They were trapped in a nightmare, hunted by an unseen force, their sanctuary transformed into a prison of fear. Section 6. Desperate Measures, a Glimmer of Hope. As the night wore on, the campers, their initial terror giving way to a desperate need to survive, banded together. They barricaded themselves in the mess hall, the sturdiest structure in the camp. Fear hung heavy in the air, punctuated by the sounds of unseen horrors outside. It was then that they stumbled upon an old journal, hidden beneath the floorboards. The journal, penned in a spidery script, chronicled the events of a similar night decades earlier. A night when the blood moon had risen and campers had vanished, their fates unknown. But the journal also hinted at a way to appease the vengeful spirit, a way to survive the night. Section 7. Unmasking the Past, Facing the Present. As the campers huddled together, poring over the faded pages of the journal, they began to piece together the tragic history of Camp Blood Moon. They learned of a young girl, wrongly accused of a terrible crime, who had met a gruesome end on the very night of the blood moon. Her spirit, unable to find peace, remained tethered to the woods, seeking retribution for the injustice she had suffered. The journal spoke of a locket, a symbol of the girl's innocence, lost in the chaos of that fateful night. The key to appeasing the spirit, according to the journal, was to find the locket and return it to the girl's grave, located deep within the heart of the woods. Armed with this knowledge and fueled by a desperate hope, a small group of campers decided to brave the terrors of the night and search for the locket. Section 8. Flight through the forest, freedom's embrace. Their journey through the moonlit woods was fraught with terror. The wind howled through the trees, whispering threats and taunts. Shadows danced and writhed, taking on monstrous forms designed to unnerve and terrify. But driven by a glimmer of hope and the will to survive, they pressed on. Their search led them to a crumbling well, hidden deep within the woods. The air around the well hung heavy with a palpable sense of dread. With trembling hands, they lowered one of their own into the well's depths. Their hearts pounded in their chests as they waited, each rustle of leaves, each creak of a branch, sending shivers down their spines. Finally, they felt a tug on the rope. They hauled with all their might, and to their immense relief, they pulled their friend to safety. Clutched in their friend's hand was a tarnished silver locket. Section 9. Scars of Blood Moon, a town haunted. Returning to the girl's grave, they placed the locket upon the weathered headstone. As if a switch had been flipped, the wind died down, the shadows retreated, and an eerie silence descended upon the forest. The girl's spirit, her anguish finally soothed, seemed to dissipate into the night. The remaining campers, shaken but alive, emerged from their hiding places. The ordeal had changed them, etched lines of fear and exhaustion onto their young faces. They made their way out of the woods, their steps quicker now, their eyes constantly scanning the shadows. Dawn found them stumbling out of the woods, forever marked by the horrors they had witnessed. Section 10. The legend endures, a warning whispered. The sun rose, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, a stark contrast to the horrors of the night. But the peace was a fragile thing, forever tainted by the knowledge of what transpired under the blood moon. Camp Blood Moon was abandoned, left to decay under the watchful gaze of the ancient trees. It stood as a silent testament to the horrors that unfolded under the blood moon's crimson light, a stark reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the ordinary. The story of Camp Blood Moon became a local legend, whispered around campfires and recounted in hushed tones. A cautionary tale, a reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, especially under the eerie glow of the blood moon. Section 11. Camp Blood Moon, forever shrouded in fear. Years have passed, but the memory of that horrific night continues to haunt the town. The survivors, forever changed by their encounter with the supernatural, carry the scars of that night etched deep within their souls. Camp Blood Moon, its grounds reclaimed by nature, stands as a silent sentinel, a chilling reminder of the horrors that unfolded beneath the blood moon's malevolent gaze. The legend of Camp Blood Moon lives on, a whispered warning passed down through generations, a reminder that some places hold secrets best left buried, and some spirits forever denied peace will forever walk the earth, seeking solace under the eerie glow of the blood moon. The camp remains abandoned, a ghost of its former self, forever shrouded in an unsettling silence, a chilling testament to the night of terror that unfolded under the blood moon's crimson light.